Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Sandor here. So I just wanted to make a quick video and cover some of the questions that I get asked about my boxes that I use to protect my palms during the colder months, winter. So yeah, let's get right into it. Yeah, so today is December the 9th, 2023, and we are getting some unusually warm mild air pushing through here in southern Ontario, Laura more specifically. And like I usually do, let's check out the temperature. And we got a reading of 16 degrees Celsius, which is way above our average, but we'll definitely take it. Like I said, we have a warm front coming through here, so yeah, it feels nice. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So I'm going to answer some of the questions that I got regarding specifics on protecting your palms. So try to make this video short. So I'm going to start off with the Trachycarpus here. Just use that as an example in regards to protecting and certain aspects of it, your palms. So I think the number one question I get is, do I open up my palms, and why is it important? Ventilation is crucial, especially during the colder months, where a lot of cool, damp air can get trapped into these boxes, and that can in itself cause a lot of mold issues. So what you guys want to do is, if you don't have custom covers like I do here with zippers, and again, I'm not zipping them all the way up, you just want to get some air circulation in there. Again, that's important. Otherwise, I'd have to climb up a ladder, but getting some air in there is always important. And when the weather permits, I keep these structures open. So again, ventilation is crucial. If you don't have access to open up your structures with a zipper or a door or something like that, then, you know, depending on your structure, if it's a TP method, you want to put in some ventilation through the sides or wherever, so air can pass through. Again, that's probably one of the most crucial aspects of protecting your palms over several weeks or months during the winter. So definitely make sure that you guys have that set up however you can. And the second most important question is watering, I guess. There's no real what's important. They're all important questions. I'm just listing them 1, 2, 3. In general regards, so just so that I can answer them, but there's no real importance. But again, watering your plants, number 2, is probably, again, important. So plants in general in the winter in the northern hemisphere do go dormant. I'll take the silver maple for example. It's dormant right now. It's lost its leaves. The roots are inactive. So it's the same thing with palms. Unless you live in South Florida, you know, you don't want to water your palms. So I don't water these palms at all. They don't get any water from about, let's say, November, December to April. Again, the reason why is watering them can cause rot issues. So the roots are inactive. They're not taking any nutrients in, and whatever groundwater they get is sufficient. If you do want to water your palms, I would say do it sparingly, maybe once or twice during the whole winter, depending on your climate. But here in zones 5B, 6A, I do not water any of my palms during the winter, not even the ones in the greenhouse. They stay unwatered. And one of the rules I have is, if you guys are going to go by that, is if you overwater, there's no, and you get some rot issues, there's no coming back for that plant. They will die. So always remember, underwatering is always more important than overwatering. Plant can't come back after rot issues, so it's pretty much on its way down. So yeah, like I said, if you guys are going to water your plants or your palms, do it very sparingly. Even indoor plants in the winter need less water. So it's just kind of a rule of thumb. And sometimes I do get this question asked about fertilizing. So if I'm not watering my palms during the winter, you definitely do not want to fertilize them. Again, the palm is dormant. It's not taking any nutrients in from its roots. So if you do fertilize, you have a chance of burning those roots. there is no point of that. So definitely not a good idea to fertilize your palms, especially if you're not watering them. So that's definitely a bad choice, or bad idea. So yeah, watering them, I do not water. It's totally fine. I know the urge is to water your palms, but trust me, I don't. Done this for a few years now, and palms have always been fine. So underwatering is always better than overwatering. The second or third question I should say I get asked is lighting. Do I need to light up my structures? No. These palms can stay totally enclosed in darkness all winter. Again, they're dormant. The light that these C9 Christmas lights give off is really, it's not important. I mean, it doesn't do anything. It's just basically for heat. Yeah, the lighting in there is definitely not for the palm to grow or to give off light. They're just more specifically there to give off heat for the enclosures during the winter months. So you do not have to have your enclosures lit up. You do not need light again. They're dormant and they can go many months, weeks without light. So that's another very important question that I get asked. And all these questions are very important. And again, I appreciate you guys asking me these questions. Yeah, so lighting is not important. You know, it is good to, again, open up your structures, but that's more for ventilation as opposed to lighting. So yeah. And then probably the fourth question I get asked is the heating aspects of it, protecting your palms. Okay, so in this case, like I mentioned in my previous video, I use these C9 incandescent Christmas light bulbs, not the LED ones. And you want to make sure that they are away from the trunk, not sitting on any of the petioles or resting on the trunk. They will, even though they don't give off a lot of wattage, only I think 7 watts, something like that per bulb, over time they can scorch the palm, the petioles, or the leaves, fronds. So you want to make sure that they're positioned away, like I have them here. Again, it's no big deal if it's touching. You'll just have some scorching on wherever it is, but it's a good idea to keep them away. I do use 2 strands, so that's 25 bulbs per strand, so 50 total. Sometimes I get people pointing out that all these light bulbs are overkill. It's not so much the amount of light bulbs, it's about efficiently heating up these boxes. So 25 light bulbs will heat up the box. It'll take longer, twice as long basically. So it's more for efficiency. It's not really much of overkill. It just heats up the box a lot faster. And then obviously it's regulated by this temperature controller here. So it's going to kick on and off at the desired temperature. I have it set at kicking on at 2 degrees Celsius and kicking off the power at 6. So it's just basically the more bulbs you got, the quicker it is to heat up the structure inside. So it's not so much the amount of heat, or it's not so much the amount of bulbs, it's how efficiently they are again. So a lot of people use, you know, let's say on a 6 foot, 10 foot trachycarpus, they'll use 1 strand, and that's fine. Again, basically it's just to heat up the structure quickly. So I don't think energy wise one way is better than the other. I've been doing this way for a while, and yeah, don't be afraid to add a little bit more heat because you are setting up a temperature controller. In this case, I'm using the Inkbird, which is again, I highly recommend it over a thermocube. It's more efficient. It's hooked up to Wi-Fi. I can be out of town and I can still check on my palms. It'll give me readings on the palms, and if there's a problem, then I can always address it. Even if I'm not home, I can get somebody to take a look and see what's going on if there's a power outage or whatever. And yeah, so it's always good to have a good temperature controller. Don't go cheap on temperature controllers. So that's an Inkbird temperature controller on Amazon Wi-Fi. Also, when you're powering up your enclosures, you want to use a extension cord that can handle the power. I have a 10 gauge here, which is good for about 16 to 20 amps. Might be a little bit overkill, but I always have the option of adding a ceramic heater into my enclosure if I ever wanted to. Like in my greenhouse, I have a ceramic heater there hooked up to a 10 gauge extension cord. You don't want to go underpowered because it could trip your breaker. So that's very important. 10 gauge may be a little overkill. You can do a little less, but I have that option of adding a ceramic heater, which is very high wattage, so it's pulling a lot of power. A lot of these ceramic heaters can, be pulling about 1500 watts. So 10 gauge would be more than sufficient for handling that kind of power. And again, if you do lose power, a good thing to have is a backup generator, which I do have. So in the event that we have a powder outage, I should say, hook up my generator. So that's probably another really important point. How do I heat my boxes if the power goes out? So yeah, investing in a power generator is probably very important, especially for us in the Northern Hemisphere. In our case, it's not uncommon to lose power during the winter, especially if it's like minus 20 Celsius. That's enough to kill your palm if you can't heat that box up in time. So very important to have that as backup for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Lastly, I do get a question: how much does it cost to set up a box like this? I did a quick estimate. With all the cords, temperature controller, the insulation that I use, the lighting, the cover, custom-made cover, everything, it cost me about $300 Canadian. So give you guys a ballpark figure, give or take, $50 here or there with all the materials. So you're looking at about $300. You can, definitely build a better box, cost you a lot more, or you can even build a less expensive structure like a teepee, teepee method, where you just wrap protection around that. Costs you, $100 less or whatever on materials. But basically, yeah, these structures cost me about $300 each to build, with material, wood, and heating and all that, and covers. So yeah, just to give you guys a ballpark figure, it's not cheap, but again, it's the hobby that we're in, right? And you're unfortunately going to have to pay out of pocket to keep your babies alive during the winter. So it's not cheap, but it's fun, and it's something that us crazy people that like protecting palms in Northern Hemisphere like to do. So anyways, I hope that answers your question, guys. And if I missed anything, or if you have any suggestions or comments, yeah, definitely leave them. And if you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing and liking this video. I know I have been posting a lot of videos, just been extremely busy lately. So, but anyways, I do appreciate you guys watching. And again, have a great weekend. And Christmas is coming. I'll try to put out a video before that. But if I don't, I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And again, thanks for watching, and take care, guys. Cheers.